Okay, again, we're pretty much getting back to schedule here, so that's terrific. Our keynote speaker today, who I am so pleased to have with us, is the Reverend Patrick Garnett Duggan. The Reverend Duggan is the Deputy County Executive for Economic Development for Nassau County, New York. And again, he will bring with us, I think, a fresh perspective on Nassau County probably has problems that are the same and problems that are different from Brooklyn. So I think that it'll be very helpful to us. The Reverend Duggan was actually born in Bedford-Stuyvesant. He was raised in Hollis, Queens, and went to the New York City public schools. He graduated from Harvard University and then went on to get his Master of Divinity from the New York Theological Seminary. He began I can't read my own notes here. He began his ministry at the Solid Rock Baptist Church in Jamaica, Queens, as an associate minister, and in 1995 became pastor of the Congregational Church of South Hempstead, where he expanded revenue and membership. Prior to joining Nassau County, which we'll talk about in a moment, he was the founder of Sustainable Long Island. Sustainable Long Island, where he served as director, is a nationally recognized organization that seeks to promote sustainable economic development. In 2004, Nassau County Executive Tom Swazi appointed the Reverend Duggan as his Deputy County Executive, where he administers a department that seeks diverse strategies to create economic growth and opportunity for Nassau County. Now, there are many, many other attributes that I can talk about with the Reverend. His extensive biography is located in your program. But I think that you want to hear less of me and more of him. And I'm not sure how Brooklyn lets you get away, but I'm happy we have you at least for today. So with that, I'd like to introduce the Reverend Patrick Garnett Duggan.
Thank you, Joan. I'm very excited to be here, and I want to thank Jim Bartolomeo and Brooklyn Economic Development Corporation for extending this invitation. And someone who kind of talked me up. I don't think she's here. Jody Cash, who a lot of you know, a friend, and we've been a compadre in a lot of different projects, kind of recommended me today. Also want to thank Vanessa Pugh, who is the Director of Intergovernmental Affairs with me at the Office of Economic Development in the county, and she also worked with me at Sustainable Long Island, who's here today, and she also helped me put together this slide. All right, she did the whole thing. All right. And I'm just excited to be back in Brooklyn, where I'm from. And I was looking at Marty Markowitz, thinking that, I used to, in the 80s when I moved back from college, I moved to Brooklyn, and he was known for the concerts. Still known for the concerts, so it's good to see him. Just a little bit about who I am, and Tom asked me if I would mention his name. I told him no, but I will. Tom Swazi. I said it 3 times. Make sure you tell him. But if you ask, how does he do all of this? What I do is really out of the ministry that I've been a part of, involved in for 21 years at the South Hempstead Church for the last 12 and a half. Everything I've done on Long Island has been a result of the work I do at my church, where I still preach twice on Sundays, most Sundays, and last night we did a funeral for a long-time member, and I serve a congregation of about 250 people. And a growing congregation that has almost, more than doubled in size since being there. And also through the Faith-Based Community Development Corporation, which we founded out of my church in 1999, ACT. And so when the county called in 2004 and said, would you take this job? I said, I'll take it, but I come with baggage. I'm a pastor, and I run a fledgling CDC. And Tom said, sure, we want you to do this because of your work and because of who you are. And that's very important to know. So I'm here. I have a clicker. I'll try it next time. to talk about these things over the next 25 minutes or so. Defining community beyond the pews, serving God and community, building capacity, organizing for discernment, and faith-based visioning. One of the things that it was clear to me as I've begun to do community development work on Long Island, coming out of half my life I lived in Brooklyn and a little bit of it in Queens, Brooklyn and Queens, lived and worked in Brooklyn and Queens. When you go to Long Island, the first thing that you realize is that the community development community is very small. There are two organizations on Long Island that have community development budgets over $250,000. And one of them is called Community Development Corporation of Long Island. The other one is the Long Island Housing Partnership. There are others, smaller groups, but none that match the groups that presented this morning, HCCI and Abyssinian and St. Nick's and all the other groups, the Queens, Allen's organizations in the Bronx, whatever. Nothing like that. And in fact, government's work in community development is also very thin. So the question that I've sort of arrived at over my years doing this work is to how do we begin this work? It's a pressing issue for us in a community where there's very little infrastructure for community development. But I think as I was listening and very impressed with the presentations this morning and others I've attended, it's still a pressing question in places like Brooklyn and Harlem and the Bronx, where there are still people who are trying to figure out how to get involved, congregations that are not, as successful or have ventured forth at all in community development, and really want to understand the why and the how. And I think we've arrived at a way to do that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, what do I click on?